Welcome to Home Care Business Insights, your go-to resource for exploring the many aspects of running a successful home care business. Whether you're an industry pro, new entrepreneur, or just curious about the industry, this podcast offers strategies, tips, and solutions to help you succeed. While AI-generated voices host the episodes, the insights are real and designed with your growth in mind. Let's dive into what matters most in building a thriving home care business. Now let's hear from our AI hosts.
Welcome to Home Care Business Insights. This is a special deep dive brought to you by Caring Senior Service. And I'm your host, here with our resident franchise expert.
Hey, everyone. It is really great to be here today. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, same here. So today we are taking a look at a really uncomfortable paradox, I think, that a lot of you listening right now might relate to.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's that situation where you're working 60 plus hours a week, you're answering these urgent emails from the dinner table, and you're doing all this supposedly to afford a great life for your family.
Right, ostensibly for the family.
Exactly. But the reality is, because of that insane schedule, you're just completely absent from the actual life you're killing yourself to fund.
It's honestly the defining tragedy of the modern corporate executive. I mean, from day one, we are conditioned to view success as this vertical climb.
Yeah, climbing the ladder.
Right. You pull yourself up, higher title, higher salary, higher floor in the office building, and you just assume the view from the top is going to make all the sacrifice worth it.
But then you get there and realize you're just isolated.
Exactly. You realize the altitude has completely isolated you from the very people you were climbing for in the first place.
Which perfectly sets up the overarching mission of today's deep dive. We are completely tearing down that traditional definition of success.
I love that. Tear it down.
Yeah. We're exploring how taking the leap into franchise ownership, specifically, in the home care industry with a model like Caring Senior Service, can fundamentally rewrite the script on your family life.
And the timing for this is just crucial. I mean, we are seeing a massive exodus of highly capable leaders from these traditional corporate structures right now.
Oh, definitely.
They're actively seeking alternatives that offer, actual autonomy, not just a marginal salary bump.
Right. Today, we're tearing into the why. Like, why do so many established, successful professionals, people who already have the prestige and the high salary, why do they just walk away?
It's a great question. Why step into the unpredictable world of entrepreneurship?
Right. Because it's not always just about the financial upside, is it?
No, it's rarely just the money. I mean, to genuinely understand the why, we really have to redefine the ultimate goal line.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
Well, the professionals making this leap, they've realized that a larger paycheck just cannot buy back missed time.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. So I want to challenge you, the listener, with a direct question here. What does success actually look like to you?
When you strip away the LinkedIn updates and all the societal expectations, right?
Exactly. Is it securing that senior VP title? Or is it having the bandwidth to coach Little League on a Tuesday afternoon?
Or just having the flexibility to take care of your own aging parents,
Right. Without having to grovel to a manager for permission just to work remotely for a few days.
Ugh, the groveling. The irony of the traditional corporate ladder is that it demands sacrifices that directly undermine those personal priorities you just mentioned.
You earn the promotion, sure, but the hidden cost is a 2-hour daily commute.
Yeah. Or spending your entire weekend preparing PowerPoint decks for some Monday morning strategy alignment.
And I think the most insidious cost is just the sheer indignity of it. Needing another adult's approval to use your own earned vacation time.
Oh, don't even get me started on PTO approvals.
Right, just so you can attend your kid's school play. You are constantly renting your time to an entity that dictates how you spend it.
That's a great way to put it. I always think about the standard corporate trade-off like this. It's like working massive amounts of overtime to afford this stunning, handcrafted dining room table for your family.
Okay, I like this analogy.
Right, because you want them to have this beautiful home. But you have to work so many hours just to pay the mortgage on the house that holds the table that you're never actually home to eat dinner at it.
You bought the table, but you outsourced the dinners.
Exactly. You outsource the dinners.
And that image, that's the exact moment of disillusionment for so many people. I mean, professionals hit their 40s or 50s, they look at that empty dining room table, and they just recognize the structural flaw in their career plan.
They realized the ladder was leaned against the wrong wall.
Precisely. They realize that climbing a centralized corporate hierarchy means you're always managing bottlenecks created by someone else.
Okay, I have to stop you right there, though. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Bring it on.
Because we cannot let this sound like a motivational poster. We need to talk about the functional reality of entrepreneurship.
Fair enough.
If you leave the corporate world, say you buy a caring senior service franchise, suddenly you're the CEO, you're the janitor, you're the recruiter, the HR department.
Oh, you wear all the hats.
Right. So doesn't starting a business mean you are instantly plunged into these brutal 80-hour work weeks? How is that an improvement?
It's a very fair question.
Aren't you just trading a corporate boss for an even more tyrannical boss, which is yourself?
Well, the early reality of franchise ownership absolutely involves intense, grueling hours. We have to be perfectly transparent about that launch phase.
So it's not a walk in the park.
Not at all. Building a business requires a massive upfront investment of sweat equity.
Okay, so you were still missing the dinners then?
Well, during the initial ramp up, yes, you will face scheduling conflicts, but the fundamental difference is the trajectory of that sacrifice.
What do you mean by trajectory?
Think about a corporate job. The higher you climb, the more of your time the company demands.
Oh, yeah. The reward for good work is more work.
Exactly. The sacrifice scales with your success. But in a well-structured franchise, like a home care business, that intense effort is front-loaded.
Front-loaded, okay.
Right. You are working those 80-hour weeks initially to build a system. And that system will eventually allow you to work 30 hours on your own terms.
So you're basically building an exit strategy from the daily grind rather than signing up for a lifetime subscription to it.
That's exactly it. And furthermore, the psychological weight of those hours is entirely different.
How so?
You're no longer reacting to an arbitrary mandate from some regional director. You are making strategic choices for an asset that you own.
Ownership changes the feeling of the work.
Totally. If you decide to block out Thursday at 3 p.m. for a dance recital, you block it out.
You don't ask permission.
Right. Now, you might be reconciling payroll at 10 p.m. that night to make up for it, but you are the architect of that schedule. That autonomy completely changes how you experience stress.
Autonomy over reduction. It's not about magically working 0 hours. It's about controlling the deployment of the hours you do work.
Exactly.
We are going to take a really quick break to hear a word from Caring Senior Service, but when we come back, we're getting into the real stories of how people actually pulled this off, so stick around.
We'll be right back.
One of the biggest concerns we hear from people exploring business ownership is this: I don't want to start from scratch. And the good news is, you don't have to. You're not leaving your experience behind, you're bringing it with you. Years of leadership, problem solving, building relationships, making decisions. Those are the same skills successful business owners rely on every day. The difference is, now you're applying those skills to something you own. That's one of the advantages of franchising. You're not figuring everything out on your own. You have a proven system, a roadmap, and a team that's there to help you every step of the way. So you're not starting over, you're starting from a position of strength. If you've been thinking about what comes next in your career, let's have a conversation. Book a quick call with us at caringfranchise.com and we'll answer your questions, walk you through the franchise model, and help you decide if it's the right fit.
And we are back. So before the break, we were talking about how owning a franchise gives you control over your time. It sounds incredibly appealing in theory, right?
Right. Theory is great.
But theory doesn't get you a front row seat at your kid's baseball game. I want to ground this in tangible proof from the field.
Yes, let's look at the actual lived experiences of our franchise owners.
Because the tangible proof is where the Caring Senior Service model really shows its true value, I think.
Oh, absolutely. When we look at the feedback from successful franchisees, the primary metric they celebrate isn't always like their quarterly revenue growth.
Really? What is it then?
It's their reclaimed presence. They talk about being physically and emotionally available for these irreversible life moments.
Okay, that perfectly brings up Kevin Shell's story. Kevin owns a Caring Senior Service franchise up in Camden County, New Jersey.
Yeah, Kevin's story is fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah.
His son plays college baseball up in the Northeast. And for anyone who doesn't know, college baseball requires a relentless schedule.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, we're talking midweek afternoon games, weekend doubleheaders, and just constant travel across multiple states.
Honestly, being a spectator for a collegiate sport is essentially a part-time job in itself. A traditional corporate schedule just cannot accommodate it without severe professional repercussions.
But Kevin has been able to attend almost every single one of those games.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, right. Tuesday at 2 p.m., he's in the bleachers. Friday morning tournament, he is there.
Yeah.
And he was able to do this because he built the business that he controls.
Yeah, he built the system we were just talking about.
Exactly. And the detail that really struck me was Kevin's awareness of the clock. His son is now a senior. So this is the final chapter of his baseball career.
And Kevin said something really profound about that, didn't he?
He did. He said, and I quote, "That's very, very important to me because if you miss it, it's done."
Wow. If you miss it, it's done. That is the most sobering reality check a professional can hear.
It really is. It gives you chills.
Because you cannot retrospectively purchase a ticket to a Tuesday game in April of your child's senior year. That moment is non-renewable.
It's gone forever. And Kevin avoided that regret not by finding a boss who was lenient, but by intentionally constructing a business infrastructure that gave him that ultimate flexibility.
That's the key. Now, let's contrast Kevin's localized flexibility with another story. Rick Casey down in Houston, Texas.
Oh, man. Rick's background before he bought his franchise. It is a scenario I know so many of you listeners are currently trapped in.
He was the quintessential corporate road warrior.
Yes. The geographical reality of corporate life often means your territory is dictated by the company's needs, not your family's.
Exactly. And Rick described his previous life in a way that just sounds exhausting. I mean, he said he was constantly on the road.
Constantly.
He went on to admit, Monday through Friday, I was absent.
That word, absent, it carries immense weight.
It really does. He was essentially a weekend guest in his own home, checking in on Saturdays and packing a suitcase on Sunday nights.
When 5 out of 7 days are spent disconnected from the daily rhythm of your household, you miss those nuanced moments that actually build family cohesion.
Yeah, you're missing the casual Tuesday night conversations or the impromptu school pickups.
But then Rick transitions to franchise ownership, and the geographical constraints completely flip.
Right. He noted that once you take on your own endeavor, things open up.
The claustrophobia of airport delays and endless client dinners just vanished for him.
Because he rooted his professional life in the same community where he lived, which meant he was finally able to be actively present for his family.
Okay, so this brings us to a critical turning point in this deep dive. We hear about Kevin at the baseball games. We hear about Rick ending his days as a road warrior.
Right, the success stories.
But the immediate question any analytical listener is asking right now is how?
How do you actually pull it off?
Functionally, how do you do this?
Yeah.
If Kevin is sitting in the bleachers on a Tuesday afternoon, who on earth is running the home care business?
Yes. Let's tear into the mechanics of scaling a franchise because this is the most important part of the conversation. Running a business does not magically bestow freedom. It merely provides the framework to build freedom. You still have to execute on the blueprint.
So break down that blueprint for us. When you buy a caring senior service franchise, you're not buying a passive income stream.
No, absolutely not. You are buying a highly sophisticated operating system. The shift from working 80 hours a week in the launch phase to attending baseball games on a Tuesday, that happens entirely during the team building phase.
Okay, team building. Walk me through that.
Well, the home care model is decentralized. Your revenue is generated by caregivers providing services in clients' homes throughout the community.
Right, they aren't all in one office building.
Exactly. So to manage that massive logistics puzzle without losing your mind, you have to build a specialized leadership pipeline.
Let's define those specific roles, because it's not just about hiring generic assistants to do paperwork, right?
No, the structure requires highly targeted delegation. Over time, you bring on a dedicated care manager.
And they handle the clinical side.
Exactly. They handle clinical questions, conduct the in-home assessments, and manage those client relationships. Then you hire a recruiter.
Because staffing is huge in this industry.
It is the engine of the industry. Their sole focus is maintaining a pipeline of qualified caregivers. Next, you bring on schedulers.
That's the logistics puzzle.
Yep. They handle matching caregivers to clients and managing the inevitable call-outs. And finally, you install an office manager to oversee that localized team.
Okay, I want to use an analogy here and tell me if I'm thinking about this correctly.
Go for it.
Building a startup from scratch, doing it all yourself, is like trying to invent the internal combustion engine in your garage using spare parts.
Oh, I like this.
It takes years of trial and error, and it might just explode in your face.
Very likely, yeah.
But buying a franchise is like having the blueprints and the machine parts for a high-performance engine delivered right to your door.
That is an excellent way to frame it. You still have to put on the overalls, turn the wrench, and get grease on your hands to assemble it.
It requires massive effort.
Absolutely. But you know with absolute certainty that if you follow the schematic, the engine will start.
And once that engine is assembled, once you have the care manager, the recruiter, the scheduler, and the office manager acting as those pistons firing in sequence, the engine runs on its own.
You stop hand cranking it.
Right. You step back, wipe your hands, and transition from the mechanic to the driver.
That transition is the defining hallmark of a successful franchise owner. You evolve from being the day-to-day operator who puts out hourly fires to the strategic CEO.
You focus on community networking, financial forecasting.
Scaling the business, exactly. And the franchise's proprietary software, the standardized training manuals, the compliance frameworks, those are the tools your team uses to run the daily operations while you are at a Tuesday afternoon baseball game.
You essentially build a system designed to fund your own replacement as the daily operator.
That is exactly how you buy back your time, so you can take your aging parents to their cardiology appointment or volunteer on a local board.
Let's pivot to the financial reality of this transition, though, because there is a massive paradigm shift between earning a corporate salary and building a business. Let's talk about the difference between a paycheck and equity.
Oh, this distinction between renting your time and investing your time, it just cannot be overstated.
Break that down for us.
In the corporate world, you are trading your expertise and your hours for a high salary. But no matter how impressive your title is, when you retire or resign or get laid off,
that paycheck immediately stops.
Instantly. You take zero enterprise value with you when you leave the building.
It's so true. You don't get to take a piece of the company's market cap with you just because you worked there for 20 years.
But in the franchise model, every hour you invest, every client relationship you build, and every system you optimize, it's adding to an asset that you physically own.
A mature, systemized home care business isn't just an income stream.
No, it is a highly valued asset in the marketplace. You are building equity.
You're constructing wealth that exists independently of your daily labor.
Exactly. When you reach the point where you want to step away completely, that business can be sold for a multiple of its earnings.
Which is a massive funding mechanism for your retirement.
Or, alternatively, it becomes a legacy asset. It can be passed down to your children or managed by a hired CEO while you retain the ownership dividends. You are building generational stability.
You're not just working for the weekend anymore.
Right.
Which really brings up the incredible ripple effect this choice has on the entire family unit. We've talked a lot about the owner getting their time back, but the impact of a caring senior service franchise goes so much deeper than just the founder's schedule.
Oh, it really does. The localized, mission-driven nature of home care often turns the business into a shared family endeavor.
How so?
Well, we frequently see spouses stepping into specific roles, utilizing their own professional backgrounds to optimize the business. We see adult children getting involved in operations or community outreach.
Wow, so it fundamentally changes the conversation around the dinner table.
Completely. It's no longer dad is exhausted from some vague corporate strategy meeting we don't really understand.
Right, it becomes our family is actively working together to ensure the older adults in our specific community can remain safe.
And independent in their own homes.
Exactly.
There is a shared, tangible purpose.
And consider the psychological impact that models for a child. They are getting a front-row masterclass in leadership and operational resilience.
And community service. They watch their parents build something meaningful from the ground up, while simultaneously watching those same parents prioritize showing up for family events.
It completely redefines the goalposts for the next generation's understanding of what true success looks like.
You are showing them that you don't have to choose between financial stability and being a present parent. You can engineer a life that accommodates both.
I love that. Engineer a life. So as we pull all of these threads together, I want to summarize the unvarnished reality of what we've discussed today.
Let's do it.
Stepping out of a lucrative corporate structure and taking on a caring senior service franchise is not a path of least resistance.
Not at all.
It will test your leadership, your stamina, and your ability to tolerate risk, especially during those early days when you are, as we said, assembling the engine.
The initial friction is undeniable, but the ultimate reward makes that temporary, intense effort deeply worthwhile.
You're trading short-term operational stress for long-term strategic freedom.
You're buying the ability to say yes when life happens.
Yes to the Tuesday baseball game.
Yes to being present Monday through Friday. Yes to caring for your own parents.
Look, financial success matters. It provides the security every family needs. But time is the only truly non-renewable resource you possess.
That is so true. You can always optimize a system to generate another dollar. You cannot implement a strategy to earn back a missed year of your child's life.
The core philosophy here is intentionality. It's about actively designing a business infrastructure that serves your life, rather than accepting a life that is merely the byproduct of your business.
As Kevin Schell so aptly put it, if you miss it, it's done.
If you miss it, it's done. That brings me right back to the image of the massive, expensive dining room table sitting empty in a beautiful house.
Yeah, the empty table.
I want to leave you, our listener, with a final provocative thought to mull over as you navigate the rest of your week.
Let's hear it.
Look at the trajectory of your current career path. Look at your calendar for the next 5 years. If you continue trading your time in the exact same centralized corporate structure you are in right now, what are the irreversible life moments you will inevitably be forced to miss?
The senior year games, the spontaneous family dinners.
The quiet moments of connection that will simply evaporate because you were required to be absent. And more importantly, what would it look like for you to start assembling the engine of an asset today that guarantees you will always have a front row seat at that dining room table for all of them?
That's a real question, isn't it?
It really is.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.